Hello, I'm Daniel, and welcome to my YouTube channel. We here at the channel are continuing in our series of videos with respect to inspiration, education, information, guidance, advice, and I want to talk very briefly about the passage in the book of Numbers, chapter 20, verses 8 to 12, where Moses is commanded. People are dying of thirst. Moses was commanded to speak to the rock, address the rock, and water would come forth. It's a miracle in front of all the Jewish people. So what does Moses do? He goes to the rock and he takes his staff and he hits it twice. Water comes out. And they're criticized by God. God says in verse 12, "Because you did not believe in me, to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel." He was denied the honor of taking the Jewish people into the promised land. He'd have to stay on the other side. He wasn't going in with them. Now, I think the language is a little harsh. "Because you did not believe in me, to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel." Who more than Moses believed in God? He spoke to God face to face and didn't believe in God. Aaron, who was with Moses, his children, his sons died by the hand of God, and he was still trusting in God, still believing in God. It's just, and what's with the hitting speaking? Whether Moses spoke to the rock and water poured out, or whether he hit the rock and water poured out, either way, it's a miracle. They both defy the laws of nature, so what's going on over here? It was Rav Zaidel Epstein who offers a little insight in distinguishing between the two. He says, when you speak and a person does, it's a voluntary act. The person voluntarily obeys your command. When you hit something, it's by force, and the person or the thing is forced to obey you. And while one is important to teaching you to listen to the word of Hashem, you don't want to get across the meaning that you're forced to listen, forced to obey God's commandments. Everything is a voluntary act. We all have freedom of choice. And when someone is forced to do it, the lesson is not as compelling as voluntarily choosing to obey the words of God. The failure to teach this complete lesson was reason to prevent Moses from entering the land of Israel. And we see from this din, this judgment, which Hashem is demanding of the righteous are held to a higher standard. More than any other person, if an ordinary person made a mistake, okay, fine. But someone who's on the madrega, someone's on the level of Moses, is held to a much higher standard. A person is judged commensurate with his abilities and his status. Even if a person has done a lot, has done much, if he could have done more, if he fell a little short, he could have done more, or could have done better, then what he has done is not enough. Imagine, this is Rav Epstein speaking, two great leaders of yeshivas, of rabbinical schools, of schools of higher Jewish learning, Torah disseminators of the highest order, the highest degree, who have successfully prepared a generation of students in Torah scholarship. If one has been granted greater talent or superior abilities to the other, it is quite possible that he will be taken to task for not doing more. The better person, the one who has more talent, more skill, more gifts, is held to a higher standard. And even though they do exactly the same thing, the one who has the better ability is held to a higher standard. He's taken to task for not doing more. Success is measured by what one has accomplished relative to what he could have achieved. We're going to be doing more videos along these lines. Please come back. Please watch, please learn. And until next time, I'm Daniel, and thank you so much.